For those of you that have watched my videos before, you would know that every Christmas, instead of buying gifts, I don't buy any gifts. I cook lots of yummy things and do up food hampers. So some of it's in the Thermomix, some of it's not. And I keep looking for new recipes. Every now and then something gets added. This year, the recipe I want to try is on Cookie Dough. And I've been watching this one for a while, thinking about cooking it. But this year, I thought I'm going to have a go at it. And if it's nice, I'll make enough to put in everyone's hampers. So it is, there it is, a burnt orange marmalade. Now it sounds amazing. So last night I got in, the prep time is 14 hours and 20 minutes. And that is because we slice our oranges. It's a kilo of oranges. And we slice them just like that. Oh, hang on, let's pick one. Just cut them in half and slice them. Oh, hang on, let me do that. Really thin. And then they've been soaking in water overnight. Now, I did leave, I made sure the seeds were in here and soaking because that's a lot of pectin in those seeds that I don't want to waste. Rightio. And this makes 1.5 kilos of jam. So start. Let's push that over there. So it said cut the fruit in halfway. Cut the fruit in half lengthways, then thinly slice. So I cut it down the middle and then took that really thick white core out of the middle and then sliced the rest. Next. Add the slices into a glass bowl. Now I always do it in a glass bowl, and I just couldn't find one that I liked. They weren't big enough, so I've got to go through I've still got some unpacked boxes from when I moved house, so I've got to go through them and try and find my glass bowls that I usually use for marmalade. Add 500 grams of water. And then leave to stand overnight. So that's what I've done. It said cover with a tea towel, so I just put the lid on there loosely and then draped a tea towel over the top. And now it says, and this is really important when you're making jams and that, it says, to guarantee the success of recipes using the sugar mode, please follow the exact quantities and description for all the ingredients. The recipe should also be cooked immediately after placing the sugar in with the other ingredients in the mixing bowl. So when you're making preserves, the amount of sugar in each recipe is important, the amount of fruit and the amount of sugar, and that's to get it to set and also for preservation purposes. If you don't put enough sugar in, it won't set properly and it won't keep. So let's go next. So in this bowl, let's have a quick look in our bowl. Clean, dry mixing bowl. Let's move that now. We want 300 grams of sugar. So I'm going to be doing a bit of cooking today. So I'm going to use, I've just got a new bag of sugar, 300 grams. I am pretty sure that this part we're doing now is making the burnt sugar component. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. So we'll go, we just go tear, 1 teaspoon will be 5 grams. So what do we got? we're up to 10 grams, so that's 2 teaspoons. Okay, we got that, and 30 grams of water. Okay, that's pretty good. And now next. So it says, yeah, we're going to caramelise this. So this is our sugar stages. And it says, the picture shows the lid on with the cap in place, and that's that picture there. It says 25 minutes, and they're showing the mode sugar stages, and we're going to start. So that's it. Now I'll just leave that, and when it gets up to the 25-minute mark, we'll come back and we'll keep going. Okay, it was really hard not to lift the lid on that because you can smell it throughout the house. Yeah. So it's a nice deep caramelly, and it does smell amazing. Rightio. So next, and we're going to add 65 grams of this orange soaking water. Perfect. Next, we're going to mix that for 1 minute, speed 1. So I'm thinking this is so we don't dump it all in there and set that caramel solid. This is just to cool it down a little bit and thin it down. That's what I'm thinking. So I've managed to cut my finger while I was cleaning up before. While I was waiting to keep going with the recipe. Nice sharp knife. It was actually ones I got from the mix shop. It was the big one of these. And I just picked it up wrong. Let's have a look and see what we're going to do now. Okay. So carefully pour caramel into a jug and set aside. So I haven't got a jug, but let's grab one. So I'm interested to see what temperature this is at. Does it tell us? No. I've got to think about how to get to it, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour this in carefully. Because I don't want to shock this, even though it's a heat-proof glass jug. Okay. Not too bad. Okay. Let's do this. Working quickly. It says to place the oranges and the soaking water. So I'm going to leave a little bit in there. It's a bit hard to... So there is, I think I said that I left the seeds in the oranges because I like, it just gives you a little extra pectin. So, okay. Yes, next. And then we're going to place the aroma dish here. Next. Now we're going to cook that for 45 minutes at 120 degrees. Speed 1 with the blade in reverse until rind is soft, and then we prolong time if necessary. So, righty-go. I'm just working out in my head what we're doing, but I think we must add the rest of the sugar. Yes. In a later step. Righty-go. I will be back in 45 minutes and we'll keep going. Okay, so it says to cook until the rind is soft and to prolong the time if necessary. So what we're going to do is we're going to just check that. Now that does look pretty soft to me. Yep. No, you can't see. Oops, that's hot. Yeah, so that is pretty soft. Rightio. It says to set the aroma dish aside. And add. So we want more sugar, 350 grams of sugar. Next, we place the aroma dish there. Next, and now we're going to cook that for another 30 minutes. So when you're cooking marmalade, you need to cook the rind to the the cookedness you want it, because once you add sugar, that seems to set it at that amount of toughness. So if you add your sugar too soon, it affects the result of your finished product. So we're going to start, and I will be back in half an hour to keep going. This is cool. I mean, I generally make jam in a pot on the stove. I've made marmalade in the Thermomix before, but I've always found it doesn't keep as well as stuff cooked on the stove. So I'm really hoping that this is different. Rightio, I'll be back. Okay. Now, we're going to set that aside. And we're going to add the reserved caramel. So we'll have a look at that. And as it cooks, it should get clearer. That's quite like cloudy. So, and this is why I don't know about the marmalade in the Thermomix, because I mean you don't tend to stir when you're making marmalade. Just a little bit to keep it moving. scrape this out and I might have a little taste of this caramel. Okay. I want to try and get as much of this out as I can. I don't like to leave too much behind. No. So, just going to get a little bit of this and have a taste. Now we're going to cook it for, 15 minutes. And I'll be back. I'm going to have a look, but I'll have to go and check. I'll have to go and get some bottles. Rightio, we'll be back in 15. Rightio. So now we're at the testing point. Whoopsie. So now if you can see what I was talking about, that's more of a crystalline rather than a cloudy texture. And what I need is, I think that is at setting point. So we're going to get we're going to pop a small plate in the freezer. And we'll set it, but I don't know if you can see. That's quite thick. So what I'm going to do is I will get a plate in the freezer. I should have done it earlier, but I forgot. And we'll give it a test. Okay, so I had this plate in the freezer for 10 minutes. But I don't think we need to check it. I think this is well and truly. Oh, look. And my Thermomix turned off while I was doing that. That's okay, we'll let this. I like it when my marmalade is like that rich golden colour but crystal clear. You know, like it's a clear, I can't really explain it. And this is a little bit cloudy, but the taste is in the, what is it? The proof is in the taste, something, or the proof is in the pudding. Righty-go. So if we go down here to recently cooked, and it's the first one there, and then we just go back to this step. So it says I mean, that's set. So it says, push it with your fingers if the marmalade wrinkles, if it is ready. If not, cook it for a further 2 minutes and then set again. And I don't know if this is going to wrinkle. Let's just it is wrinkling. I don't know if you can see that, But when it wrinkles, it forms a skin, and it's the skin that's wrinkling. I mean, that's set. Rightio. Carefully pour into sterilised jars, seal immediately, and invert for 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my jars. So I don't know how many this is going to make. So, I mean, what I like to do is I'm going to put a little bit more in that one, a little bit more in this one. The jar's very hot. But that one there I'm happy with because it's filled up past the shoulder, but there's an air bubble in it. So I'm just going to get a spoon to run down the side. Hang on. Right here, so we've got a lid on that one. These ones we're going to fill them up a little bit higher. But what I'm going to do is, the jar's too hot for me to pick up and do anything with at the moment. But we're going to have a little taste. Now that flavour is really nice. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think I am going to make this for Christmas. Well, I am going to make this for Christmas, but I think what I'll do is I'll make it in the saucepan. I'm going to do the caramel in the Thermomix and then add it into the, I'll use this recipe and just see how that turns out. I'm going to have to get some more oranges because I've got no oranges left. But the flavour is delicious. And the picture shows the if you can see, or you probably can't see in the picture, hang on. Okay, if you look at the picture there, sorry, it's a bit wobbly, hang on. So if you look at the picture there, you can see that that marmalade there is not cloudy at all, whereas mine. So what I'll do is I am going to give this another go. It'll probably be next week, and I'll let you know how I go. But that is really nice marmalade. I really love that burnt sugar flavour that it's got, the burnt caramel flavour that it's got. It is delicious, and I'm going to try it the other way and we'll work out which way is best. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.